Hello, this is Silvia Pavoni, investment editor of the bank, and I'm talking to Antonio Alves, who is the principal for short-term lending for the Latin American operation of the IFC. And Antonio, we're talking about the presence of the European banks here at this year's Felaban. Europe has been one of the overriding themes of this year's meetings, and I believe that you've had some interesting conversations with some of these European banks.
Yes, Silvia, thank you very much for the interview. Indeed, there is, as everybody is aware, a crisis in Europe, and some of the European banks based in the countries that have problems approached us, IFC, looking for a potential support, help from IFC to their economies and specifically to the bank in order to provide them support to get better access to funding. It's an interesting case. However, IFC mandate is to support emerging market economies, banks located in countries that are still in the developing phase. And in the case of Europe, particularly with these countries, they are OECD countries considered developed, and therefore our mandate doesn't allow us to support yet these economies. So let's see how things will progress, hopefully for the better. But we never know. We might have some exceptions, and we might be able to support some of the banks that need our help.
So really, this is a turning point in the history, really, of the IFC and also of the status of the world's economies. European banks going to an institution which mandate is to help emerging markets, and the IFC considering potentially helping these banks. But what is, for the moment, for the foreseeable future, the growth plans for the IFC?
Well, IFC has changed a little bit in the past years. Now we have, let's say, a second core business. The initial core business of IFC was always project finance, long-term investments in emerging market economies, as I was saying. Now, in addition to long-term investment, we are also strongly developing the short-term finance products. So very recently, in the last 8 months, IFC created a full new department, the short-term finance department, where we are developing a new set of products to supply the demand, specifically in export-import countries. Just to name a few of the products that we have now, we have the Global Trade Finance Program that has now 7 years in the market. We recently develop and create the Supply Chain Finance Program, the Warehouse Finance Program, and the Structured Trade Finance product and program. So these new products were developed with the objective of listening to what the clients need and try to supply the gap, supply the demand that we have today. Today, basically, specifically with the crisis in Europe, we have a bigger gap in the market between the lenders from developed countries and the borrowers in emerging markets. So IFC is trying to fill that gap with this different set of products. And I am in charge of develop these new products in the Latin America, in the Caribbean, together with my team, who are based in Buenos Aires, in Brazil, in Washington, and in Mexico City.
So these are the markets that you're going to be focusing on presumably in the future, but you're looking at also new markets in the region or outside of the region?
Yeah, in Latin America specifically, we are trying to diversify as much as we can our portfolio of clients. So initially we were very concentrated, focused on Brazil. Now we are expanding as much as we can, specifically in the Central American countries and in the Caribbean. Um, in the Andean region, we also have a strong interest. We recently established some clients in Colombia and in Peru. Um, Out of Latin America, our biggest and most important focus is on Africa. We right now we have active clients in 19 countries, different countries in Africa, and we are trying to expand our coverage to other countries.
That's great. Thank you very much for your comments.
Oh, thank you very much. And I also would like to say that this Felaban it has been very interesting. We have it was a good opportunity to listening from banks from different regions, specifically Asia and Europe. Asia, in my opinion, is trying to take over some of the roles of European banks. And yes, it was a very good event. And thank you for the bankers to be present.
Thank you again.
Thank you.